Hi guys, this is Alex from Airsoft. I'm just going to do a quick video now on how to do a HPA setup on a Hi Capa, and in my opinion the best way to go about doing it. This mainly is just the essential upgrades that you will need just to get the most out of your HPA Hi Capa. So the first thing you're going to need for a HPA Hi Capa is obviously an air tank. This is a 3000 psi 48C tank, so I get about 2,500 shots a tank. So yeah, that's just a thing bearing in mind. Make sure you know what size tank you want based on how often you can fill it throughout the day if you're going to need to, and stuff like that. Regulator wise, this is the ballistics reg. They're about £80. Cost wise, they're not really expensive reg, and they do the job. And most importantly, you'll most probably need a tournament lock on your regulator. So if you do buy a regulator and you turn it to your site and doesn't have a tournament lock on it, they can just tell you they won't let you play. So yeah, just that's a first thing to look out for. Also, before I forget, the line. This is a 42-inch line. Nice blue, goes with some of the gear I wear. So yeah, 42-inch. Make sure you get the right size. I would always recommend a longer line because you can make it shorter by wrapping it around something like that. You can't really make a shorter line longer without getting another line. So just things to bear in mind. So in front of me in pieces is the Hi Capa I use. First things you're going to notice is this is the inner barrel and hop-up unit, stock hop-up unit. Those who have taken apart your TM Hi Capa, you'll notice you normally have black bucking. This bucking is maple leaf macron, 60 degree, since it's the yellow one. Very good, really tight seal. Straight away putting this bucking in compared to the TM bucking, the stock, I jumped up about 30-40 FPS on 2.5s, so quite a bit. You might not have the same effect. This is what I just found in I was using it. Yeah, so a big fan of this bucking. The barrel as well is the 7-inch PDI barrel. I really do like the 7-inch PDI barrel. 2 inches longer than the standard barrel in your 5.1, or about 2 inches longer. Yeah, so you can see, I don't know the camera, there's a little notch here by my finger, just there. That's where it goes to, your standard Hi Capa barrel will go to. This one's a bit longer in it, so it's just made a little mark when it's been put inside the frame. So I would definitely recommend a longer barrel and good bucking combo. The longer barrel will mean that you have to use less PSI for your regulator, and will just make your gun more efficient, which is always a great thing in my opinion. I really do like the efficiency, of my HPA. I go for that. Like I said, a standard Hi Capa, you'd be running about 100 PSI to get at the 350 limit, 1.13 joules. This one I'm running at 75, so that's a win in my book. Next quick thing, what the inner barrel sits into is the outer barrel. I would recommend upgrading the outer barrel, getting an aluminium one, threaded one as well if you want to put something on. If you're going to run a longer barrel, you're most probably going to need either a muzzle brake setup, compensator setup, or you can do a setup like this. This is the Cow, formerly UAC. Is it spiral barrel, something along them lines? Cyclone maybe. Great quality. Doesn't move around too much in the slide as well. Haven't had any, I've ran it in a game day with a heavier sound hog on, and I had no marking, no scratches on the top of it off the slide. So yeah, not too concerned about any drag or anything like that. I don't do anything like competition shooting, so yeah, like I said, I haven't found any issues. But I would definitely recommend upgrading it. The stock barrels are a bit flimsy, and if you're going to use it as your primary, which if your HPA is happening, you probably are, you want it to be as strong as possible. Just this is a threaded one. They come with 11mm clockwise threaded threads in these barrels. Most of them are 11mm clockwise. So if you're wondering what threads your Hi Capa's got, if you've got threads, it's most probably 11mm clockwise. This is with the cow adapter and a basic like neutral blocker suppressor to keep it from rattling itself undone, which is quite common in blowback with the blowback effect off the gun. I have used PTFE tape to wrap around the threads and then put bits of blue thread lock on. I haven't done that on the actual adapter to the barrel. I've just put a bit of PTFE tape on there. I've also put some O-rings in between. It just allows you to basically crank the pressure up, tightening it. The O-ring will help store the pressure so they won't come undone. Physics. So we'll put them back together now because I'll just slowly start building it up. Next thing to know, and probably something that you should do to your Hi Capa no matter how you run it, and just make sure you're doing it properly and using the right sort of parts, is, I'll move this is just the cover, a short stroke in. So this is the standard recoil spring. I would recommend it running to about a 120 recoil spring, something along them lines. But for now, I haven't used it that much, but I will probably in the near future run it to a 120 when I get my next parts order in. So it is short stroke by about an inch. This is about the maximum you can short stroke something. Short stroke the Hi Capa, just so you can actually put it back together again. I'm using a bored out spring spacer washer for spring guard from an AEG. This is, I can't remember where this spring's from, but it's a nice tight little spring. It's very tight, so it doesn't tend to come back, but it just helps when I'm taking the Hi Capa apart and putting it back together, because I can just compress it a little bit. And these are just two reasonably thick O-rings. They need to be quite, if you're going to use O-rings like this, make sure you keep an eye on them, make sure the spring isn't getting, no springs or anything are getting stuck underneath them. That's how come I have this spacer washer here, just to keep it separate. Also, if you do use O-rings like this, just check after, if you've had a long game day with fired a lot of shots, check afterwards and make sure that you, none of them had any splits in them. I have done that before and I've looked and I've had a few with like splits in about to go, and the last thing you want is them coming apart while you're shooting in a game. So yeah, I'll start putting it back together soon. Quick next thing, slide. Airsoft Masterpiece triangle cut slide. Really like it. Really like about 84 grams without the blowback housing. This is a stock blowback housing and blowback unit from Hpa Hi Capa TM. Works really well. Just be aware if you're putting the standard blowback unit into the Airsoft Masterpiece slide when you're putting it in. These will drop straight on to a standard TM frame. However, sometimes when you put this blowback unit in, it will not sit straight and nice and flush inside the actual slide, and it'll start snagging on the frame when you put them together. So I've just filed my blowback down a bit. That's why you can see the shininess. I've took the paint off. Very little bits of filing with a Dremel, and it did the job. And it sits all together nice. If you are deciding to do these from scratch and you are finding parts getting, just not really assembling as nice as you may think they would, just take your time with it. Don't go around dremeling parts, sanding parts just because it won't fit. Just make sure everything is fitting as it should do, if that makes sense. So make sure anything that's inside your slide, if it's not fitting, is sat flush. Just because you don't want to destroy something that's perfectly fine, especially Hi Capa parts, because these slides are about £83, and that's on the cheap side, to be honest, when you're looking at a high quality slide. So we'll start putting that together. Very easy. So hop unit as well. I mainly just run 2.5s. I'll probably upgrade the hop unit in the near future. Just getting used to the camera. It's on a bit of a weird angle. Helm set. Just got to make sure when you put it back together, fine. I'm not the smoothest person at putting these back together, I do have to say that. While I'm doing this, I just will note that, yes, I know there'll be a lot of people who do high caps and stuff out there, and they'll be thinking, why on earth have you got all these nice slides, things like that, and everything's just black? Well, I like it. Some people like rainbow colours. I very much, and all them weird colours, you know, you see like purple and gold, nice combinations, black and red, silver and red, even black and silver, it looks quite nice, but no, I'm too boring for that. So that's how I did it. Some of you will have noticed I will have some holes in the side. That is going to run a sight on here. So to mount a side mount like this, and this has got a CMOS sight in the back, a clone on it, so you can get it for about £30 off Amazon. A few other places sell the clone as well, like the actual sight retails for about £200. I think the polymer version of the actual sight by the CMOS. So I just got the clone, and this is a side mount sight. I will give it a bit of a show once I put it back on. So anyway, just to get these mount on, you do have to tap some holes in. So drill some holes and then actually tap them. I think it was M3. Yep. So it was 2.5mm holes with then tapping it with a M3 tap, and it worked pretty well. I only run actually 3 screw holes in. Let me find my Allen key. Wherever the hell I've put my Allen key. There it is. It's underneath the gun. Yep. I had to replace the hex screws that came with my sight bracket. They were a bit too short. They would barely clear the sight, the actual bracket itself. So as a result, I had to get a new set. What I found doing them is putting them in, making without the slide on, having a look how fine to the frame did they go, and then just cutting them down with my Dremel afterwards, which seemed to work best. You just got to be careful when you do that. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera very well, but just at the front of the slide, you can't really see it. You can just see a silver little nick here. What's happened is the screws have actually, one of them's just been slightly too long, so as the slide blows back, it's just caught itself one of the screws. You can't really see it, to be honest, at all, but just a thing to be aware of. I'll just let the camera focus. It's a good camera, this. Now I'm just using an old webcam. Come on. Anyway, so I'll just go over attachments while the camera lens focus. So I'll get onto the site. I'll just do the torch first because I will forget about that. This is a Nex Torch WL10 executor. It's a nice little torch. CR123/123A battery. Powerful, great paddles. You can strobe it like that, or actually click the paddles down. And I have put the actual Hi Capa rail mount that you get. I have actually put that on. So all you do is press the hose out with a little tool that comes with it, and then use the I believe M2 screws in straight into the bracket, and it works fine. It sits really nice. And yeah, so the sight, which I did go over. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can line this up properly. Well, it's on the side. Maybe I can get the camera to move it a bit. There we go. There we go. So it's a side mount sight. Here we can see it. Really simple. Put the battery goes in this part here. It's a third N battery, and there is a knob at the back which I'm just twizzling now, and you can just essentially use its intensity here. You have no side to side, or in this case up and down controls over the sight. However, you can, if you run it on a normal M4 or flat, you would be able to raise the height. But so for this, you can like get it. See if I can aim it up on the camera. There we go. Okay, it's a really nice sight actually. The camera doesn't do it justice. Okay, there we go. Right, yeah, really nice sight. That's quite high intensity. I was turning down a bit more. It's a nice thing. You do have a lot of control over how intense you can make it. I'd definitely recommend one of these sights. The CMOS sights. They do actually come with a. Let's give up on that. They do actually come with a Picatinny rail mount. That uses the 2 screws that come with it, but obviously because this is side mounted, you take the rail off with these mounts, and instead of going into the rail Picatinny rail mount, they mount into these bracket. So like I say, it's a really good gun. Running 2.5s through it, getting about 320 FPS on 2.5s on 75 psi, and which is my field limit. One last thing just to go over is with your HPA, your Hi Capa, you will know that you'll probably see videos about changing mags. Some people just say I use 50 round mags. Some people won't do it because they get off put with the magazine changes. You also have to change your hose as well as changing mag. This is what I run. The tap drum mag from High Pressure Airsoft in Scunthorpe. That's where I got this one from. It is really good. Holds 1500 BBs, and you will definitely get 1200 in it. This is the 9-volt battery one. The battery just connects up the minute, just so I don't want to get to game day and realise my battery's discharged. Little white fill plug on the top, so you pull this plug out. Sometimes it's a bit stiff, so I carry a pair of pliers with me, pour in the BBs, put the plug back in, and you're good to go. And then wind button at the bottom. They do a flash mag version of these, so if you can't get hold of 9-volt batteries, or you don't want to run 9-volt batteries, you can get a pull cord flash one. So yeah, that's my setup. I will do a shooting video, maybe a comparison with some of my AGs that I've got. So yeah, just leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more airsoft tech and goodness, and for AGs, for some new HPA stuff that we've got going on. My brother, he's working with Raven at the minute, with one of their ETUs, and doing some stuff for that. So hopefully there'll be some videos in the next few weeks. Over the Christmas period, we'll try and make some more. So if any questions about this Hi Capa, about Hi Capa that you're making, or even an AG that you're thinking about building, just send us a message and we'll get back to you as quick as you can. Thank you.